I'm Richard Cartwright, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about chipping and how the yips, what are the yips in particular? Well, usually that people say they originate in the mind, they originate with the fear in this shot, but it's sort of more carried on to the mechanics of the swing itself. So you'll notice how the result of a yippy chipper, let's say, is that one that the ball just flies across the green. Okay, we really thin it, we catch the belly of the ball, it just flies across the green. So ultimately what the yipper tends to do is try and get down to the bottom of the golf ball, and it looks like a very short stroke, a very short yippy chip, and then they really try and dunge themselves towards the ground to just simply get back to the golf ball, to get back to the ground. But the problem there is usually they either completely duff the club into the ground or catch no ground at all still because they're trying to help the ball up in the air. So a lot of people talk about the yips being in the mind. It's not really, it's more in the mechanics that lead then to the sort of bad thoughts in our mind. So how do we get over it? What have we got to try and do to stop being that yippy chipper where the ball is just going to fly through the green? We've got to make sure we're what I call just simply taking our time to get the club to the golf ball. Now again, going back to the yippy chipper, their swing is very short and dramatically scooping and accelerated through. They're not letting the club do the work to the golf ball. So what we're going to try and do today is trying to make sure that we're giving the club time to get back to the ground. What we're trying to do is make sure the club is feeling like it's going back a long way. It's not, but we're just giving the club far more time to get the club down to the ground itself. We're giving that club time to get that ball up in the air, therefore. And if you do this with just one hand, for example, and just let the club flow and giving ourselves some time, you'll notice how pretty much every single time that club hits the ground and therefore gets the ball up in the air. We're not trying to scoop it up in the air, we're not trying to get down to it, we're just letting that golf club do the work for us. In other words, we're giving that club, we're almost feeling like the club is up in the air for a really, really long time, but we're just giving that club the momentum without the need to try and scoop it up in the air. Because if you're fearful over this shot, what's the one thing that you're going to want to try and do? You're going to want to try and take it back so short because you're fearing you're not going to control it. If the club goes back to here, even for a 8-10 yard chip shot, you're thinking, my God, that's going to go miles. Well, it will if you don't hit it correctly. But if you allow that club to get time to go down to the ground, to get down to that ground, you'll notice how long my swing is. That's gone 8 yards. Well, according to Trackman, 12.2 yards. 12.2 yards that's carried for a really long swing. But what I have made sure happens is we are just letting the club do the work. We're giving that club plenty of time to get down to the ground. Whereas your usual yipper takes no time at all. They want the swing over and done with. What I want you guys out there to do, make sure we're giving that club more time to swing. We're giving that club much more time to swing. Try it with one hand and you'll be amazed at the results. You'll be absolutely amazed. Again, for all you yippers out there who tend to thin it or duff it, you'll be amazed you can hit a chip with just one hand. You'll probably say to yourselves, hang on, why don't I just do it with one hand? I mean, you can do, it's up to you. But I would ideally give that same tempo. So we're making the swing feel like it's about 10 seconds long rather than half a second. Make that swing what feels to us 10 seconds long rather than half a second, and then we'll get that ball beautifully up in the air. Hope this helps. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and comment below. Let me know how you're getting on, please.